Hi everyone, this is Honeywell and I'm playing Banished. This is episode 5 of The Perfect Town. And when we last left off, we were expanding our population as aggressively as possible within the confines of this marketplace. We also had a large stone budget that I said we were going to spend, and I've gone ahead and done that. We put in a chapel, a larger cemetery, picked out a spot for our first hospital, as well as a scenic spot that was out of the way for our town hall. We had a few traders and we picked up 6 chickens, which have already expanded into 9. But the biggest thing that we have accomplished was putting in this tunnel, which cost a massive, I believe 452 stone or something outrageous like that. As you can see, we punched through probably the widest part of this mountain. And we did that to gain access to these forests back here, where we're going to be putting in more forest hubs. Forest hubs are great during the early game. It's only year 12, when we still have a small population. But they're great for the early game, but you can keep them all the way up to the end game as long as you trade. The firewood, the venison, plus the food from the gatherer's hut mean they're comparable to just about any other food source in the game. So there's no reason to tear down your forests for farms, unless that's what you want to do, of course. But my first large town was a constant struggle with food, and I remember putting crop fields on every nook and cranny of the map, and that's something that I'm not interested in doing again. So I really like having a variety of buildings and using the trading docks to make up the difference for anything else. How much does this work out to? I don't know. 234 maybe? Okay, we'll trade. And let's make sure that the food merchants always come with things that we want to buy, which are basically the crops and orchards. Everything else will produce enough on our own. Potatoes, pumpkins, squash, walnuts, and wheat. And every visit, please. Okay, let's get back to our forest hub here. Now, because this is such a far distance, you know what? Let's raise our food a little bit too. Because this is such a long distance between the town, it's going to take a long time to get this built up. So one of the things we're doing is putting a house back here to get a couple laborers or builders working back here. But we also, this house will also give the other workers a place to warm up in the winter. And let's increase the speed a little bit so we have a chance of getting this built sometime this year. And since this is going to be its own kind of self-contained little community. It's going to need all the amenities that the other parts of the town will have. So we've already planned out for those. Let's go see what this trader wants. Okay, general goods. We will always trade for food. But I'm not interested in those orchard seeds right now, so they can go on their way. See if we can eventually get this figured out here. Why this is so complicated, I do not know. I think I've already told you that I have a, before I start recording, I have all of this kind of worked out how I want it to be. I look at a map that I had already built up before I start, and I try and recreate that. Oh, and it looks like our hospital got built. And they're finally bringing some stone over to the town hall there, which is good. And in case you missed the first couple of episodes, our forest hubs will always have a forester's lodge, a hunting cabin, a gatherer's hut, as well as a stockpile and barn, and at least 6 houses. No, thank you. The quantities are going to be so small this early in the game that it's not even going to matter, but we'll try and order some stone and see what we get. Thank you. Increase the priority on those again. Maybe we'll get lucky and someone will come and do something. So we have our foresters in, and now we need a stockpile. We're putting in a massive 10 by 10 stockpile back here because we already have 2 forest hubs up front here where the majority of the town is going to come. The traders are going to come and take everything from these stockpiles first. So if we have a larger stockpile, they're not going to run out of room, and I can put 2 woodcutters if need be on this one stockpile. Okay, as always, want a schoolhouse and an herbalist. Another house, so we don't need that up. A little bit of rain, as if it wasn't already hard enough to see as it is. And we're going to leave this group of houses unpaused in the hopes that they'll eventually get built and we'll have some workers back here to speed up the process. And just in case nobody heard, we want this done first, so we'll increase the priority on that. Let's see what else. We need our storage barn. our hunter's cabin, which we'll pause. Gatherer's hut. And our woodcutter. Let's go see what they have. Logs. How exciting. Not. But we'll buy them. Okay, and of course I'm going to want a marketplace back here. Centrally located. You can see in the market's radius all of these houses fit a portion of that house up there, and then we'll also have another forester's hub down in this location where we can put some houses here, and then we'll have a third forest right up here, and again the houses will fit nicely. We still don't have any bridges to this side of the river though, so we're gonna have to go ahead and pause that. But I am going to squeeze in some stockpiles over here, because we will be collecting all of this stone and iron. And as soon as we have some bridges, we'll queue that up. I'm really failing at this here. I think I'm trying to make them too big. Okay, that's better. Yes, I know the stone is low. Oh, that's probably why nothing's getting built all back here. Let's gather all the stone. Increase priority on this whole area. Maybe that'll get us somewhere. Let's collect the iron as well. And you know what, let's pick this up to 10 times speed so it has a chance of getting built sometime this year. And we'll start putting in some more houses up front. As soon as we get that initial settlement taken care of back there, we'll come back up here and see what we have going on. But really this is dependent on the trades that we get. We're putting a small group of crop fields up here, and we have a small Well, not small. Well, a small group of houses to go with these. Okay, get those paused. And let's see what the merchant has. Ah, sheep. Sheep are good. We like sheep. I'm gonna go ahead and buy all of these. Which is, what, 900, I think? Okay, very good. Thank you. And let's go put in some sheep. Very nice. Oh, and it looks like we're finally getting something built back here, which is good. Hopefully not too fast. Okay, that's good. Everyone is an appropriate age. Good, good. Another house. Excellent. Once people start living back here, this should go a lot faster. And now that we have the bridge over to this side of the river, there's no reason not to start collecting all of this ore. Good, good. We need a couple more gatherers. Our food is pretty, well, no, it's probably just about spot on. It seems low, but there's probably enough food there to feed everybody for a year, so I guess it's not that bad. And actually, we can start building the marketplace too. Let's do a quick housing check to see what's going on here. Yeah, we have there's some old people, so I think we're going to be experiencing the rest of the initial die-off pretty soon here. You can kind of tell the age of the neighborhood by the number of students. So this only has 3, but yet this schoolhouse has 11, so. And food, we always like food. Thank you. We will take it. Great. We're finally making some progress back here. One of the things that I've noticed, I believe in the last episode we talked a little bit about marches of death. Well, when they changed that, they changed the way workers queue up to get projects done as well. It used to be that whichever order you kind of put something down, that was the order that they completed the tasks. But now your citizens kind of take into consideration how far away the job is, and they'll prioritize work that's closer to them. And that was again to avoid the starvation, and freezing deaths that were happening. I guess we could pause some things down here. We're not ready for this section yet, though. As you can see, I've just put this stuff down and they've already rushed over to start filling things up. Because it's close to home. Yes, the reserve of everything is low. Okay, great. A couple more houses built back there, which is good news. Storage barn. Let's go take a look. Stone, yeah. Such minute amounts, it doesn't even. And actually, we're going to pause this. Let's finish the trader here. How much is that in firewood? I don't know, 135 by 12, 132. I feel like I need to go back to school to learn my times tables. Okay, and let's see if we can get appropriate couples in here. Looks like we built these too fast, and we're splitting up families, which I don't want to do. So let's see if we can get these rehoused with young new couples. And no. Oh, wait. Okay, there's a couple. Let's try this one. Okay, and that is good, and that is good. Let's get an herbalist. And I think we can unpause all of these buildings now. I'm a little disappointed that we haven't received any seeds that I want to grow yet. You would think with two... Let's unpause that house too. See if there's some people ready for that. You would think that with true trading docks I'd have better luck, but no. It's really not worth putting in the other trading docks right now either, though, I don't think. Just because the goods that we're getting, like you see, we put in a special order for stone and we get like 66. It's like almost not even worthwhile. So until they start bringing larger quantities, I'm happy with the two that we have. Get a schoolhouse. Oh, and they have seeds. I just don't want any of them. We would take your food, though. What is that, 4? and your coal. Why don't we have coats? I'm gonna have to go see what I did to them to make that happen. And 600 is what? 150, I think? Okay, thank you. Okay, that's good. They don't have the... because I'm making warm coats. Well, they just picked up some, you know, I don't even feel like messing around with that. I'm just gonna let them be out of coats for a while, I guess. Yes, the reserve of iron is low. Everything is low. Okay, it looks like this is just about done. We have the forester. Our hunters are up. Let's increase our hunters. See what this trader has. Pepper seeds. No, thank you. I don't want them. I know I can order seeds, but there's something about paying more that that I don't like. So it's only year 16. I am perfectly content to wait a bit and see if we don't get some trades, more advanced trades soon. And woodcutter, hunting cabin, gatherer's hut, we'll leave them at that. Forester's lodge, up those 4. Okay, and I think this might be a good place to call it a day here. And when we come back, lower the speed again. And when we come back, we'll continue to trade for livestock any chance that we get. Looking for the seeds that we want for our farms over here. And so we'll fill in some of these houses as we have the population. But our new forester hub is up and running, it looks like. So all in all, I think it was a good day's worth of work. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll return with episode 6. Good morning, everyone. This is Honeywell, and I'm playing Banished. This is episode 6 of The Perfect Town. In this episode, we're going to finish up some odds and ends and start filling out this portion of the map however I see fit. Finish putting in some pastures over here, build up our trade dock, get this marketplace back here finished, our town hall, lots of little projects that we need to finish. We're also gonna continue to increase our population, and it is going to start increasing exponentially. We're just about at the point of the game where people start starving because they're surprised at how fast their population grows. We'll check out this trader, and then I think we'll talk about marketplaces a little bit. Maybe we'll get some seeds. We still don't have any seeds, and it's year 16. No, but cattle? I don't even remember what I have. What do I have? Oh, good. I have sheep and chickens, so we want cattle. Thank you. Let's see, how much for 6? 6 cattle. Can we afford 6? I think we can. Maybe. what is it, like 1,200 or something outrageous? Yes. Thank you very much. My gaming mouse broke last night, so I'm using this like cheap $10 mouse until my new one comes. And it's very annoying, I must say. Cattle, another herdsman. Oh, and our town hall. Good, good. Let's build another house anyway. We're already up to 96 members. Here is the town hall menu is great. One of the best things about it, I think, is the ability to cycle through each of your buildings, which is really nice. Up until this point, you had to kind of go by hand. But that's not the case here. The only thing about this interface that I do not like is that you can't see everybody at once, so I usually stack them like this. And we'll go over this real quick. We have 32 homes, 32 families, 97 citizens, a lot of adults, some students, and a healthy percent of children. Everyone is mostly healthy. We still don't have any grains. I think we've traded a few times for some corn or wheat, but until we get a steady supply of grains, our health is never going to be perfect. No thank you, we just bought them. What else? Production. You can see our food, this is the biggie, is exactly used and produced. I think later, once we start creating ale, these figures aren't going to be all that reliable, but for now they're nice. And then the all-important inventory. Where did, let's see if our town hall turned out to be as lovely as I thought. Very nice. Okay, so it looks like the major thing we have left queued up is our marketplace. Now, I actually have this queued up sooner than I would normally. A good rule of thumb for placing marketplaces is every 10,000 in food as you need them. So for your first marketplace, once you hit around, you wouldn't place like a second one until you start reaching the 20,000 in food. But because this is such a far away place from the rest of my town, I'm going to head in putting in this marketplace anyway. Queue up some houses that aren't going to get built. It still takes forever for anything to get built back here. Good. And even though it says that we have more homes than families, students, they're not counting these, the students. But you see I have 26-year-olds that need a house, so I'm going to go ahead and continue with my housing. And I think we might... So many possibilities. Let's get over here and... That's not what I wanted to do. and develop this section a little bit early. Yeah, we need barns and stuff. Oh, and here's another thing that I could not find anywhere online, so I had to look at the game files to find. Barns hold 6,000 units. Marketplaces hold 10,000 units, which is why building marketplaces in increments of 10,000 food is a reasonable suggestion. And trading posts now hold a massive 60,000 units. So we'll definitely be utilizing those a little later for some excess storage. The only downside to that is if a tornado comes through and wipes out a swath of your town. If it knocks out your marketplace, you're only losing 10,000 goods. If you lose a couple barns, 12,000. One trading post goes up in flames or gets hit by a tornado, and you can lose up to 60,000 units of whatever at one go. But the trade-off is worth it. Anyone who's had a town reach the higher populations will agree that storage becomes an issue. And I also like to have it storage, yes, but in addition to storage, it's I like to use it as a kind of insurance policy. Because one day you have a ton of everything, and the next day you run out of tools or people are starving. That's never fun. I also have a few mods installed. I haven't used any of them, but I have the debug menu installed. I also have flattened terrain, and eventually these little gaps in the roads are going to bother me, and I'm going to go in there and use the flattened terrain tool so I can finish the roads. I kind of set up my own little system of when it's okay to do that, and basically I've come up with, as long as it's not as long as it's only for cosmetic reasons, seems fair enough. When I first got it, when I first installed that mod, I started using it on just about everything. Like, oh, this would look nice here, so let me change the terrain. And that it ruined it a bit. And back to marketplaces. Our marketplace is finished up here automatically. As soon as you place another market, all of the other vendors seem to populate it. So you'll want to adjust that. And we are going to try 4 vendors back here. And we're going to lower this number to 4 so they're distributed the way I want them to be. And we'll see if those 4 vendors can't fill up this marketplace. Logs. Okay. Thanks. Logs are great. Not really. And food. Okay, we're only getting the things that we want, which is good. And we have 336 more. Okay, thank you very much. Food is always appreciated. So since we have a stockpile of 12,000 food, each marketplace could probably be a little bit more than half full. So I'm going to look for this to get around the 60% mark. See, and this is low too. We're going to put another vendor on this marketplace. I hate to put all our laborers on this. But one of the bad things about, well, good and bad thing about the marketplace is that people are in the radius are going to go here for everything they need, and if it's not there, that's not so great. So it looks like right now they're about a quarter full. We'll check back in a little bit to see if they filled up. If not, we need to adjust the vendors on those. Okay, we unpaused our trading posts. We'll start building up this area a little bit. Most of it's going to be paused though. And again, because those houses that we have queued up here are so far back there, no one's even really touching them. It'll be a while. And since we'll be buying a lot of the raw materials that we need, stone, iron, and coal, we are definitely going to use these stockpiles here. And wherever I put houses, I want a schoolhouse. And most of the time I want an herbalist as well. Those are just basic buildings that I want in every kind of section of my town. We're going to go ahead and split these sheep already. Good, good. And I have more pastures that I want to place over here. I'm also going to be placing a marketplace. Not now. We're definitely not ready for this yet. Now I like placing the largest size pastures, but smaller pastures are great too. So if you have space problems, there's no reason not to place smaller. The only thing that you want to be mindful of is making them large enough to be able to split your herds if that's what you want to do. If it wasn't already hard enough to see as it is, snow does not help. Let's try that. Yeah, this mouse is driving me crazy. And that's good enough for now. You know what, maybe I'll put in, since we're having such a problem with, oh well, we really don't have the wool to accommodate it. I was going to say another tailor might be nice, since we are having a problem keeping up with that, but it wouldn't really help. And good. We have a trading post, our third trading post. And we're going to be stocking this with some firewood and venison. Let's see what they have. Some seeds, maybe? No. But, thank you. Another one of these houses down here. Let's see. Yeah, 57. That's about right. 60%. And what about back here? And about 67. So that works too. Now, if this was still around the 20% mark, I would know that I would need more vendors in order to stock this market. As I fill in the area back here, we might need to add more vendors. But since it's only this small handful of houses, the 4 vendors are able to handle it. Let's raise that to 5,000. And what is our food at right now? 25? Let's do 35. And what do you have? Stone? Yeah, still minuscule amounts. What was that, 132? Yeah, 132. Okay, thank you very much. And I guess I can continue filling out some more in this area. This mouse. Kind of took my gaming one for granted. And houses. Here's something you might have noticed. I'm still building wood houses. Stone houses are absolutely more fuel efficient than wood houses. But wood right now isn't a concern, and I want all of this stone available so I can build as fast as I want to. So it's a trade-off that I'm willing to make. Stone houses are better. The game files have it listed as stone houses provide 0.9 warmth for every unit of fuel, and wood houses only get 0.6 warmth for the same amount of fuel. And I actually did a test and debug myself just to be sure. And the figure that you commonly hear, that wood houses use about 10 more firewood a season. That does work out. I did 3 seasons, and 2 seasons the wood houses used 9 more firewood, and the 3rd season was particularly cold, and in that season they used 11 more. So if you're playing on in harsh conditions with colder winters, you might get more benefit from stone houses than the common guesstimate that they use 10 more per season. But even at 10 more, we're using, with 36 homes, we're using 360 more firewood a season, which is, well, that's nothing. Again, once we reach the hundreds of houses, it'll become an issue, but right now, it's not a concern of mine. I'll put those figures in the description. I'll also put the figures for the trading posts, marketplaces, and barns as well. Because again, that's something that I actually looked for and I couldn't find. So maybe someone else is curious about that as well. What is going on here? Am I not? Oh, I'm just messing this up all over. Good, good. And I'll have a fishing dock over here, a line of barns, another fishing dock here. Again, just trying to pick out the nicer portions of the river that'll give a lot of water coverage. And I'll also put in a few tailors over here, because eventually we'll be overflowing in wool. So that's something that we'll want to trade. We're going to go ahead and trade wool coats along with our firewood and ale and anything else that we have too much of. Another trader, some more firewood. And venison. Great. Once more of this stone is collected, we'll go ahead and put in another 2 quick forest hubs. And we might as well get these put in as well. A chapel, cemetery, and hospital, along with each major area of a city will get their own chapel, cemetery, and hospital. The hospital is necessary for disease. The chapel and cemetery, just because I like it. So we have a chapel and cemetery over here. Eventually, for this section with our trading, we'll have a chapel and cemetery and a hospital. Wool coats? No, thank you. How about some seeds? Do you have seeds? Sheep? No. But thanks for stopping by. What about you? Chickens? No, thank you. Basically, I just have this one pasture of chickens, and I won't split these or expand them in any way. It's just to provide a little bit of food variety, and I like the chickens. I know a lot of people find the noise annoying, but I don't. It seems like every farm should have some chickens at least, right? Let's see, what else? Those houses might be getting built, it looks like. Let's queue up this one as well. And there's going to be a marketplace eventually there. Good. What is that saying? 3 more houses? So I'm pause this one. And again, I keep the houses pinned just to make sure that the couples moving in are who I want. Double check that I'm not breaking up any families or having single people move into these houses. Oh, you know, actually that road is wrong. And I'm going to put a blacksmith down here because, one, it is close to a marketplace. So it'll have all the materials it needs being supplied by the marketplace. But it's also close to these stockpiles. And since I buy iron and coal and everything from the traders, There's usually huge stockpiles of goods once near my trading posts once the town starts get going. So this way they have a chance to use some of the coal for steel tools before everyone else grabs it. I really need to set some camera presets for back here. So, good, good. 2 houses. Maybe 1 more back here. Oh, God. And there is our chapel. Very nice. And as people are born back here, even they'll start filling up this chapel, even though we're nowhere near filling up this one yet. Let's clear out some of these trees. Make it look a little civilized back here. We're gonna up the speed. I actually like playing at a lower speed. When you play at a high speed, you're constantly playing catch up. You need to constantly be building and expanding. But when you play at a lower speed, it makes the game more enjoyable, I've found. And let's see what you have here. Food. And you have food that we don't want. So let's change this so it only brings orchard and crops. Everything else is either more expensive, which we don't want, or we'll produce enough of it on our own. So every visit, there's 1. Dismiss you, thank you. I have chickens and food. No, general goods. Oh, what am I doing over here? Okay, not steel tools. Venison, please. Okay, and we have nothing to trade right now. Cattle, no thank you. There's a good one. And let's buy their food and iron. Oh, well, that's going to be too much. And 3 mushrooms. Okay. The iron. 330. How much is that? Gosh. I don't know, 75? 85? No. 82? 83. And 2 more mushrooms. Okay. Dismiss you. Good, good. And our population is up to 121 already. This is going to continue to grow and grow, and this is why people find themselves in problems with starvation and tool shortages and everything. Everything seems to be going really well, but you start expanding so fast that if your initial infrastructure isn't efficient enough, you can easily run into some problems. And just to avoid that, we're going to bump up our gatherers just a little bit, get some more extra food. It'll be nice when we have some crops. This is looking good. Let's do 3 more houses down here. And in case you're wondering, I'm looking at the homes to families, and that's how I'm determining my houses right now. No thank you. I'm interested in corn or wheat, since they're the grains that we're lacking, or beans right now. And beans because they grow the fastest. One other thing with marketplaces is they stock what you have the most of, food-wise. They each have a certain limit for tools and clothes and resources and the like that. But food-wise, they stock what you have the most of. So we'll put these by quantity. So you'll see we have 12,000 fish right now, and we have 15,000 or 1,500 fish in the marketplace. So you can take advantage of that. No, thank you. You can take advantage of that by stocking in an abundance of the 4 food groups. So I am going to have a huge stockpile of fish, wheat for our grain, beans for our vegetables, and apples for the fruit. That's my goal. It's going to take a while before that happens, but I want a huge quantity of those 4 foods, so the 4 basic food groups are always available in the marketplace. Anything after that, food variety wise, is just nice. But my main goal is to produce a lot of wheat, a lot of beans, a lot of apples, and a lot of fish. And that'll keep everybody happy, healthy, as well as happy. And then everything else is just for flavor and because it looks nice. I get a kick out of looking at a house that has like a lot of things, which is this one does not. Okay, there goes that theory. Well, eventually we'll have nice things. Oh, nomads. Nomads and mines are suckers' bets, and we will not be inviting any nomads. They bring disease, they're uneducated, and they cause wild population fluctuations. So not only do you have to have enough food, coats, and tools to to deal with the initial population, you also should double that number, because you're going to have a growth spurt soon after you accept nomads. They can be a fun challenge, but they add nothing to your city. The very first building that we built on this map was a schoolhouse. I'm not going to go ahead and ruin my 100% educated in order to get a few nomads that are going to take my things and possibly bring disease. It's just not worth it. I could see a few legitimate needs for nomads. Maybe if you have a natural disaster and most of the population that you have left is older, might be a good time to accept some nomads. But just during normal gameplay, I don't see the reason for them. Well, they're fun. And I remember my first map, I was so excited to see nomads come. Because you just look at, you're like, oh, I could have this many laborers. But even though it's still relatively early, labor is not a concern for this city. We're expanding as fast as we possibly can, and there's so many schoolhouses. Everyone is graduating at usually the 16 to 17-year-old mark, and since I'm not wasting a ton of labor on farms or mines, it really frees up a lot of laborers, and they're just not the concern that they are for a lot of other people. Well, from what I've seen. I love Banished Let's Plays. I love to see how everyone else plays. So that's a common theme that I see, is nobody ever has enough laborers. And very happy to get some wheat seeds here. I think we might plant those. I wonder if it's going to be too early right now, but we can and we'll put 8 farmers on. Hopefully that'll even out to 2 a field eventually. 2, 2, 2, 2. Good. It's already spring though, so who knows how much we'll get for those. Okay, no thank you on the sheep. I'm very happy with the wheat. I think this might be a good place to end this episode so it doesn't get too long. We built our marketplace, and it is carrying a sufficient amount of goods. We got a new cemetery, chapel, and hospital up back here. We're just about ready to add a couple more forest nodes. We're filling out more of this section. And we have all of our livestock now. We'll go ahead and split some more of these herds. And we've built up part of our trading dock. And year 20 and year 21 and we finally got some crop seeds. So I'm looking forward to having that. Hopefully bean seeds will be along shortly. Okay. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with episode 7.